Get the comfy chair!
Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your host, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so it's comfy chair time. We're talking about comfy chair for November 2023. So our next one will probably be a bit of a year review, you know. We'll probably have a fair bit of Christmas stuff, I imagine,
Oh, yeah.
but we'll see. Right, okay. I've got a lot lined up to watch. I know that. I like indulging in the Christmas classics, as it were. Okay, so my first one is a Christmas film. Came out last Christmas, though. And I rewatched it and enjoyed it even more the second time. And I may have even talked about it here before. I can't remember. But it is Violent Night. Is this on your radar in any way?
No, this is new to me.
Right.
So-
Well, it's Santa. It's basically someone put Die Hard and Home Alone in a blender. It's kind of that.
Oh,
It's
wait, yeah, I have heard about this. David Harbour as Santa.
David Harbour as Santa. David Harbour, you know, the sheriff from Stranger Things. He really channels that kind of schlubby energy.
Yeah.
And he's a really good Santa. In fact, weirdly, it reminded me in some of his acting choices of John Goodman, who's also that everyman kind of guy, right? In a lot of stuff he does. And it made me laugh because John Goodman's Santa on Futurama. Futurama, isn't he? Futurama. But yeah, Violent Night, extremely violent. Really solid cast, funny premise. Essentially, a very, very rich family who are somewhat dickish. Not all of them, but some of them are quite dickish. Get taken hostage because the matriarch of the family has got 3 million in a personal vault downstairs. So there's the whole vault, you know, them unlocking it. People cut. It really actually channeled Die Hard 2 more than Die Hard in many respects because, yeah, you know, some of the plotting was very similar to Die Hard 2. And there was also a touch of Home Alone. Like there was a kid running around the house with bad guys after her, and she was doing because she'd seen the movie, was doing Home Alone type stuff. But what happened to them was way more violent. Which is saying something, isn't it, for Home Alone? Yeah, like for example, they do the old now through the step ladder up to the loft, and she puts a nail in the step ladder. And the guy goes up after her, and he says, the secret of booby traps is you shouldn't be able to see them. And he walks up. He just continues ignoring her now. But she's also sawn through one of the steps, and he continues, steps on the step, falls through. The nail goes right through the bottom of his chin.
Oh.
And yeah, it's proper sick. And it's John Leguizamo is the head of the bad guys, and he's really funny. He's good, and he's really angry about stuff.
Yeah.
And Santa is he's lost his mojo, and we find out he was originally a Viking warrior.
Okay.
You know, 8th or 9th century Viking warrior, and became Santa. But they don't go into how he became Santa, but we see he's a warrior. We get flashbacks of him thinking back, and he's really pissed off with everything because he thinks kids are materialistic and sort of grasping and don't really understand the meaning of Christmas anymore, and he's just fed up. And it's funny because it actually starts in London. He's in a London pub just drinking, and I think he's a showroom Santa. Because another one comes in and they start laughing, and then he has a bit of a rant about how material kids are. But the other Santa says to him, "Well, okay, but the real love of the job is seeing their faces when they get their presents, isn't it? That really makes it worth it." And David Harbour Santa's, and he goes out for a door, and the woman goes, "Oh, that goes up to the roof. What?" And she goes, "Oh, what an idiot!" And she goes up. And she sees the sleigh ride off, like, magically, and her face is all, like, magic. And then he pukes up, because he's been on her face. Not deliberately, but he just pukes over the side of the sleigh. That's how the film starts! So, you know, Spoilers. Not really. A bit late for that, right? Yeah, and it's very violent. It's a 15, but a strong 15, you know? It must be only just a 15. It's closer to an 18 than a 15 in my opinion. But I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. If you don't mind your bit of comedy ultra violence, this is for you. And there's lots of hurt pain using Christmas props as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Santa, when he was a Viking, his favourite weapon was a hammer called Skull Crusher. And at one point, a squad of elite Marines go into this barn after him, but he finds a sledgehammer. And he doesn't even know how to use guns. He's not interested in guns at all, right? So that makes it funny too, because he's like just dispatching these people and all sorts. Yeah, really, really fun. And I got it on Blu-ray. I bought it, but I'd forgotten how much I liked it, so I watched it again for the second time just the other day, and I had a really good time with it. That's me.
Okay. Sounds kind of neat. I may have to watch that.
Yes.
Yeah. So my first thing, big thing of the sort of week, the Game Awards happened.
Yeah.
So me and my friend stayed up watching that. Lots of really good announcements. Lots of really interesting looking stuff. We got some stuff in No Man's Sky, and the new game that they're releasing.
Are they? What's it called?
Light No Fire.
Light No Fire.
Okay, so new stuff.
They like their three-word phrases.
Yeah, they do. So Matthew McConaughey announced a game called Exodus, which looks kind of like a Mass Effect style game. But we also had Blade is getting a game.
Nice. I mean, there's a RoboCop game recently that I've been interested in, but I'm keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima announced his new game called OD.
Okay. Was that the guy that did Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid and then Death Stranding.
I really thought the last Metal Gear Solid was really solid, apart from a woman running around in a bikini because she had to.
That's just kind of the thing that Metal Gear Solid games do.
Okay.
Sega announced a bunch of remakes of old games, so Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Jet Set Radio. There was other stuff like Streets of Rage.
Golden Axe, wow. Okay. Streets of Rage as well. That's going back a bit.
And then there was a bunch of big awards. Baldur's Gate 3 kind of swept everything. It won six awards of the
It won Game of the Year, right?
Yeah, it won Game of the Year. Alan Wake 2 also did quite good numbers from it.
I didn't even know that was out. I thought it was coming. I didn't.
That's been out for a few days. It was nominated for Game of the Year. That's how good it apparently is. So I may have to pick that up soon.
The first one was pretty solid, very atmospheric, well put.
One of because they do live music performances. One of them was from Alan Wake too.
Oh, okay.
And they had the voice actor, well, basically all the actors that play the characters,
up
on stage singing and dancing to this rock opera thing. So. Yeah, and a few other games did good. Spider-Man 2 got nothing.
But it's a good game, isn't it?
Apparently.
Really
it was stiff competition this year.
Yeah.
Okay, running for for Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, and Super Mario Wonder. That's a pretty jacked list.
No, Elden Ring.
That was last year. That won Game of the Year last year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
okay, good. Nothing for my beloved Call of Duty stuff then. Of course not. That's probably proper old hat
Christopher
now.
Judge, the guy who plays Kratos now, he had some stuff to say about Call of Duty.
Did he now?
Yeah, because he quite infamously, he had a speech where he got played off 3 times last year. So he got up and he announced the first thing, and he was like, don't worry, my speech is going to be shorter than this year's Call of Duty campaign.
Nice one. One. Very good. Yeah. It's a very short campaign. But no one really cares about the campaigns. That's and
Timothée Chalamet introduced the Game of the Year, but it was quite funny. They apparently dug up his old Xbox gamer tag and was like, and introducing modded controller 360, and he walked out looking very confused.
Nice.
And Anthony Mackie kind of made himself look odd.
Oh, yeah.
He basically came up and tried to do like a connecting with the audience, but everyone was very silent during it. So he just kind of seemed like a bit of a nutter. But anyway, it's really, really good. A lot of really good stuff. Right? Yeah, it was very fun. Worth staying up until 4 a.m. for.
Was it? Nah, not for me.
Started at 1, finished at 4.
Wow. Right, my next one is a TV show, which I know you've talked about, but I think not necessarily on a podcast, but you have. In fact, you made me aware it was out, and I didn't even know it was out, which is the 5th season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. As well. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't even know it was out until you mentioned it. Really fun? No, I felt it wasn't quite as much fun as some of the earlier seasons, though there were some real highlights. And the through line story was, I don't know, nothing's really going to top Nadia's obsession with a blood rave from season 4 for me. In terms
as
of
a dramatic, storytelling piece, what happens is like probably arguably the best of them. It's just they don't do much with it. So.
No, they don't. They don't do much with it, and it resolves. Well, I'll say no more because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. We've got to be kind of careful and dance around this. But yeah, the strong characterization's still there. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like is we had Colin Robertson was saying, I'm feeding in new grounds now, kind of thing. I've moved into the service industry, and we see him being a dickish waiter to people. But it's only a 2-minute montage of it.
Yeah, we don't.
And that is the only thing in the whole season that they show that, and they could have milked that really well.
Colin Robinson wasn't really in this.
No,
season.
It wasn't.
He was kind of not.
It was much
really.
less so, wasn't he? Yes, there was much less of.
So I guess all of the last season was kind of about him. So
yeah, that is true. And in this season, he keeps saying, "I had this weird dream," and he talks about what happened in season 4, but he remembers it as a dream, not. And they keep saying to him, "No, that actually happened." Things like that. They've got new credits now. So Kirsten Charles' character, what's her name? The guide is in the credits as well. So she's kind of become more of a regular, though she's not in every episode, but she is in most episodes for season 5. I quite like her in it too. I really like this show. It didn't have any massive highlights of the early seasons, such as the whole Vampire Council being actors who've played vampires. That was hilarious. And things like that. But yeah, pretty solid show. I'd say some of the other seasons I would give 4.5 or even 5 out of 5. This is kind of a 4 out of 5 for me. That's kind of the level I think it is. Still really enjoying it though. I just really like the characters. The one thing that really made me laugh, and this is a minor spoiler, but it just made me laugh, that we find out Nadia's under a hex, right? She's been under a hex for 200 years and didn't know it. And all she has to do to break the hex is be nice to someone once, right? Yeah. And it's hilarious that in 200 years she's never broken this hex. It just made me laugh. Yeah, that was funny. Right, so that's me. That's that one.
Okay, so my next one, let me just get my notes back up. Okay, so my next one is actually all the new game modes that have come to Fortnite the other day. So the game updated to start the Chapter 5 sort of part, and they added three entirely new game modes. It's like
Fortnite.
Yeah,
so
in Fortnite.
Hold on, it's called Chapter 5, not Season 5. Chapter 5. Okay.
So they do seasons. They do blocks of seasons that are called chapters.
Okay, so this is Season 5. Right. But yeah, Fortnite's pretty much fun. It is fun.
Yeah,
yes.
And now they're kind of sculpting it so instead of just be this is a battle royale game, it's a game platform now. Because the 3 new game types that they've added, one's a racing game, right? It's just like there were vehicles in base Fortnite, like this. Icon. Yeah. The next one is a survival multiplayer game, crafting survival multiplayer game. That's Lego.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's blocks and you do stuff. It's Lego branded.
It's Lego.
Like it's full on Lego.
So, sorry, what did you describe it as?
A survival crafting multiplayer.
Okay,
think like Minecraft.
A lot of building. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a survival.
But yeah,
Minecraft.
it's Lego. So
yeah,
like
they're trying to push into a Minecraft space a lot more.
And the final one is a rhythm game because they acquired Harmonix, who makes Rock Band.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
I'm surprised they haven't gone into extraction shooters.
The original survival mode, which has saved the world. They got the Battle Royale. They've got Fortnite Racing, Fortnite Lego Worlds, and Fortnite Festival, which are like 3 completely new game types, all for free. Like no charge.
Amazing. Yeah, Fortnite's all right. And it works on every platform pretty much, doesn't it?
Yeah. It works on every platform, cross-play, cross-saves.
Yeah. It's good for the Switch, good for the Steam Deck, good for the PC, good for the Xbox.
Well, you can't run it on the Steam Deck because it's
okay.
It's an Epic Games.
Oh, okay. They've got their own launches. Yeah. Well, all right. Everything about the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Cool. Really nice. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. I do admire Fortnite. It is fun and works for all ages, doesn't it? That's the other thing. It's kind of fun. All right. My next one is another TV show. This one was on Netflix. It is Mike Flanagan. You know, he did House on Haunted Hill, Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Blind Manor, Midnight Mass. They're really good kind of horror dramas. And he's done another one called Fall of the House of Usher, which strongly references Poe without being any Poe stories, other than what happens to people sometimes is out of a Poe story, right? So certain episodes, one's called Black Cat, one's called Murders on the Rue Morgue, and so on. And it's about a tremendously rich family that got rich off the back of the drugs industry, the pharmaceutical industry, I should say, where they basically marketed a drug that was basically morphine based as non-addictive, right? And they did it for decades and made an absolute fortune. And for years, lawyers have been pursuing them and can't bring them down. They always manage to sort of close ranks or do something to stop being brought to justice. But that kind of comes back on them. And a man who was, the head of the family has basically spread it around a bit. So he's got 6 children, I think it's 6, from different women. But he considers them all heirs, though the ones that are his real wife calls the others bastards, things like that. And it's a really interesting, cool drama. I really enjoyed it. And very solid. Mike Flanagan's really good at these. He kind of really delivers, and he kind of adapts works based on other works. This is his first Poe-ish kind of story. I'm interested to see if he does Lovecraft at some point. I've got to be honest, because he's done a fair bit of sort of classic horror, sort of things based on classic horror stories, like The Haunting of the Hill House, or The Turn of the Screw, things like that. So this was interesting because it kind of was an original story, but with Poe running through it. There was an episode called Black Cat, where a black cat was, an instigator of things that happened and things like that. Yeah, really good. Netflix. That's me.
Okay. Now my next one is it's a bad one. It's real bad. This is a real stinker of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a stinker. It's all on YouTube for free. It's called Goat Story. It's this weird, I think it's Swedish or Slavic, something like that, animated movie. I'm not quite sure what the intent was, and I'm not quite sure what the story was supposed to be, but it was a thing that happened. There's like a talking goat, and everyone looks horrifying, and characters just kind of clip through everything because it's a 3D animated thing. So they just kind of either freeze in the background or just like half into a wall. It's insane. I don't advise watching it because it's just unpleasant to look at. Yeah, it's a thing I watched.
They did bring out. I remember when Toy Story came out. Well, maybe 10 years after Toy Story, people bought out kind of rip-offs of it, which were just awful. Looked absolutely terrible. Is it one of those kind of?
Yeah,
it's from 2008. I'm looking at the thing.
Yeah.
Goat Story.
You can see how ugly it is.
Okay. They make it on the poster. It looks like a giant coat being ridden by a scared-looking Woody kind of lookalike. That's kind of how it looks. So was it in English or what?
It had an English dub. I suppose, but yeah, it's again grotesque in every single way.
Right. I'm trying to read. There isn't really much about on Wiki with how it's considered.
Yeah, there is no story. It just kind of things incidentally happen. The goat ends up hung at one point and is kind of brushed over.
Wow!
It's implied that the guy and the goat sleep together.
What?
Yeah. There's excessive amounts of nudity. It's all very unpleasant. It's just a disgusting movie. Do not watch this.
Yeah. It says here it's the first Czech-produced feature-length computer animated film.
Take their computer animation software away from them.
Yeah, so they're not allowed to have it anymore.
Unfortunately, they made a sequel. I didn't watch that one, though.
Okay, yeah. Goat Story 2, right?
Yeah.
Goat Harder or something, I don't know.
So,
yeah, all right. Okay. Goat Story, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you made it to the end, though, right?
Yeah, we made it to the end.
Which reminds me, it's getting to that season that I'm considering whether to rewatch the Star Wars Holiday Special again.
Oh,
tough going that one there. Tough going.
Yeah.
Okay. My next one is an old classic, Twin Peaks, season 1. I'm rewatching Twin Peaks. I was actually watching an episode from season 2 just before we started recording. So yeah, Twin Peaks season 1 still absolutely rocks. Season 1, I mean, I like all the Twin Peaks, but season 1 is just all great. There's really no weaknesses in it, apart from it doesn't deliver a finale. You know, some people don't like that, or didn't at the time. It delivers just a load of cliffhangers. That's what it does deliver. But yeah, I mean, Cooper, right? One of the most iconic TV characters of all time. But there's a few others that are pretty iconic. You know, there's Sheriff Truman, Albert. Miguel Ferrer's Albert is amazing. And Bob. And
it's just the fact that he walks in, it's like, I do not give a shit about any of you. Let me do my job and we can leave. Like, that's it. Please just let me leave. I don't want to be here anymore.
Who's that? Who do you think that is? I'm trying.
Albert.
Oh, Albert. Yeah. It's definitely like that. Albert is a highlight though. He's a great character. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this. It still looks great. The only weird thing about watching it now is it's in for free. You know, they never convert it to widescreen, so it's so weird to see such a high quality product in for free. It's just so odd. Because they've tried to widescreen lots of other things. Like, for example, The X-Files was filmed in widescreen, but trimmed. So they've produced, in more recent releases, they've actually produced a widescreen. Whereas Buffy, they kind of did film it, I think, but didn't pay attention. It wasn't ever intended to be widescreen. So apparently there's widescreen versions of Buffy where you can see cameraman or soundmen on the side. And they haven't done anything with that and things like that, which is stupid. Just leave it as for free if you can't do it properly, right? Yeah, but man, it looks great. It's very, Twin Peaks. It looks great. It's funny and it's weird and it's kind of amazing. And the women are all really stunning, and the men are interesting. Let's put it that way. I think my favourite watching it again was Pete. Pete just makes me laugh.
Have a crush on Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly
it. Pete is my favourite character.
Pete is amazing.
Just innocence and earnestness in one man.
Yeah.
So what does he want to do? He wants to fish. Yeah, Pete.
In fact, I laughed out loud. I have to say, there is one stupid little scene right at the beginning of season 2, because Pete's suffering from smoke inhalation, so he's in the hospital. And there's one scene with Pete that just cracks me up, where he's kind of hungry, and they bring him the hospital food, put it in front of him, and he kind of looks at it, and then he takes the inhaler, like he's got like a oxygen note on his nose thing, right?
Yeah.
He takes it out and sniffs the food. He's like, and even with the smoking, like the food smelled disgusting too. It just made me laugh. Pete is kind of something else. Yeah.
It's him just like walking and giving like I think it was Cooper and Truman coffee, walking away.
Yeah.
And then like there's a discussion for like 5 minutes. No one does like people do stuff. He just runs back and he's like, "Don't drink that. That was a fish in the percolator. We gotta get
fish in the percolator."
Yeah. And then freaking.
And he has the first lines in the whole thing, doesn't he? She's dead, wrapped in plastic. Yeah.
And David Lynch's character, who I can't remember the name of, but just screams everything.
Gordon Cole.
Yeah, Gordon.
Yeah.
But
and
you are
the only
looking
person
at
that can
a
actually
3/4 view of an intimate moment.
Stand back, Sonny. Yeah, all that.
I'm about to do it again.
And it's hilarious that Shelley's the only one he can hear properly. It's kind of fun. And later on, Cooper picks him up on that. And then he says, "Look, Gordon, quit. I know you can hear me." David Lynch just looks Gordon Cole looks embarrassed. It's funny. Right, anyway, sorry, Twin Peaks. I mean, the pilot and 6 episodes? I always get confused. 7 episodes in the pilot.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's just like, I could not tell you how many episodes are in that overall. And I couldn't really tell you, aside from Cooper getting shot, I couldn't tell you where any plot beats happen in the story.
Yeah. I am rewatching it. This is my 9th rewatch, right? I mean, it is nearly, well, it's 33 years old now, right? So I have watched it many times, and even still, it's like, oh, this bit's in this episode. I thought it was in 2 episodes' time, but it feels like that. Yeah. Anyway, Twin Peaks season 1, great, fantastic, 5 out of 5, easy.
Okay.
Anyway, over to you.
Okay, so my next 2 are actually books, 140k books. I've just been listening to them while I paint. So this first one is it's called Twice Dead King. Now this one's actually all about a race of robotic aliens called the Necrons.
Okay.
These are a race of people that were basically tricked into becoming robots with the promise of immortality.
Right.
Okay, and we follow this sort of ongoing story of Altix, an exiled prince of his dynasty, and it's basically him trying to travel back to the homeland he was exiled from to like warn them of the oncoming rush of the humans. The humans are the menacing, overarching villain of this. Like their oncoming sort of tide is the driving action. But it goes into a lot of like Necron lore. So you get introduced to a concept of like the Necrons mentally, they're still, while they're not organic, they still have a lot of instincts left over from their organic, and they can very easily just fall into like habits of like, sometimes they'll just be sort of stood around and they start feeling like they're choking because they're not breathing. Because there's no lungs, and it's like, and they start having full breakdowns, and it's this thing called the Dysphoric. It's apparently a beast that's constantly snapping at your heels to remind you of what you've lost. It's like,
that sounds very Nordic or something, right? That concept.
Yeah, it's really good. It's two books, but I've only listened to the first one, and I really recommend it because it's a lot of like. This is going to sound like an odd thing to say. It humanizes the Necrons a lot.
Oh, cool. So is this on Audible, may I ask?
Yeah, I listened to it on Audible. I think there is a physical release, but I listened to it by Audible.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much all the 40k books and fantasy and Age of Sigmar books are on Audible. So
yeah. I've got loads on Audible now because they just got some great versions of stuff, and they get pretty good authors on there too, don't they? Sorry, narrators, I should say. Good narrators, yeah. I listen to Audible all the time, actually. Okay, did you say there were 2 books, or you talked about you've watched one?
I've listened to the first. I've listened to the first of the 2 books.
Okay.
This one's called Twice Dead King Ruin, and then the second one is Twice Dead King Reign.
Right. So. Okay. And this is the first. Yeah. It just sounds
this
like
is the first one.
you'd expect Reign and then Ruin, but this is Ruin. Ruin is the first one.
It's not about that. That's the actual order. It's like he's come from the ruins to.
Oh, I see.
So
it's an ascendancy story, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. My last one we're going to talk about is a film that I've always enjoyed. In fact, it's a film that I've sometimes had as mentally. This is for me one of the best films of all time. You know, sorry, I should say I have it as number 1 of all films of all time.
Okay.
Though that changes. It's a fluid list. But this is a real cracker. And I got it on Blu-ray last Christmas. Just hadn't got around to watching it. I finally sat down and watched it. It's called Night of the Hunter. It's a black and white film starring Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters. It's it's one of those films where a person directed one film and one film only and never directed again. It was directed by the actor Charles Laughton, who's probably most famous for... He did a version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but he's a very distinctive looking actor. He did Captain Bligh in a classic version of Mutiny on the Bounty. And whenever people do impressions of Mutiny on the Bounty, it's Charles Laughton they're doing, right?
Okay.
He's a British actor. He was in The Old Dark House, James Wells' The Old Dark House, and he was actually married to Elsa Lanchester, who was the Bride of Frankenstein, right? So that's his
okay.
Anyway, he made this film, Night of the Hunter, got savaged by the critics, didn't make any money, never directed again. But it's quickly became reappraised, I think, in the 60s. This was made in 55 and has been held as a classic. Martin Scorsese is one of Martin Scorsese's favourites of all time. It's one of those kind of ones. Robert Mitchum's amazing. He plays like this preacher who's really a con man, but he's also mad. He's a psychotic called Harry Powell, who has love and hate tattooed on each knuckles, on of his hands. So one hand's love and one hand's hate. Yeah. That's where that came from, this film. That kind of meme. And he's vicious. And women... He basically wants to stab women that are interested in him sexually or are attracted to him. And so much so, it's very Freudian. At one point, he's talking to a young girl because he wants to find out some information. She kind of doesn't come on to him. It's not that forward, but she kind of says, "Why don't you take me with you?" And you can see the rage in his face, and he's got his back to her, so she can't see his face. But you hear his flick knife flick open in his pocket. Which is Freudian, right? Clearly Freudian. And it's a very... Basically, he wants this money that this man stole, that he managed to get out of prison, get away from the robbery, and pass it somewhere to his kids. So only his 2 children, young children, know where this money is. Even his wife doesn't know. And he goes to prison, but Harry Powell also gets in there at the same time, and he finds out about it. And he's also got a penchant for killing widows. That's what he does. He goes around killing widows to get their money and go on. So he's very stabby. He's very stabby. And, you know, he starts to sort of ingratiate himself with their mother, who the husband gets hung for robbery and shooting someone. So she's a widow now, and he turns up and starts to... But the boy knows he's got his number all the way through. And it's a great film. It's a film of 2 halves. The first half is dealing with him turning up and trying to get his way. But then he definitely kills their mother, but no one knows this. And they know he's going to kill... The boy knows that, you know, he's going to kill them as soon as he finds the money. So they go on the run, and they become these wandering kids during the Depression. And apparently there's lots of wandering kids during the Depression in America. So they're just wandering from house to house, feeding and going down a river. But it becomes almost a fairy tale because they're just floating down a river on a boat, and we're seeing all the different animals on on the side of the river, and it's got a dreamlike quality. The whole thing was done in studio too, and it's got a really interesting, weird quality. It's almost a modern version would be something like Ridley Scott's Legend. Do you know that was all in studio, but it's in a forest, a sort of a magical forest, and they come to find someone who will look after them, an old lady who totally understands what's going on, but it's her place in the world to help the strays of the world. That's how she sees herself. And then it becomes a battle of good and evil between Harry Power and this lady. An old lady, it has to be said, who does not mess about. As soon as she knows what's in, she's got a shotgun in his face, for example. Things like that. It's a great film. It's just a terrific, magical. It's like... and it's not that well known. So when people see it, they're shocked how good it is. It's not talked about much. It's not talked about like Casablanca, say, right? It's one of those. Yeah, it's a classic. A 5 out of 5 film, easily. Yeah, great film. Anyway, that's me.
Okay, so my last one is actually one I'm still in the process of listening to. It's another book, another Warhammer book called Beast Slayer. Now, if you recognise the title, that's because it's part of the Gotrek and Felix kind of adventure books.
Okay, you've talked about these before, haven't you?
Yeah, I've talked about these before. I'm still sort of progressing through the series. So this one features our two titular characters stuck in a besieged city that's been besieged by the forces of evil, and kind of somewhat trying to work against them, but also accidentally fighting against them a lot of time.
Right.
Because the thing you need to understand about Gotrek and Felix is, while they have a lot of good intentions, they do they are kind of idiots as well.
Yeah.
They'll very much accidentally foil the plot. Know that they foiled the plot. They're never quite sure how they foiled the plot. There's a bit where in one of the previous books, to cite an example, they find a bunch of rat men digging up corpses, and they're like, well, this isn't good. And they follow them to a place where they're boiling all the corpses in this big pot, and the rat men are all around it chanting about disease, and they're creating the perfect pestilence. So they smash the pot, and they're like, "Well, we hope we stopped it, and maybe it worked." Later on, you find, yes, they absolutely stopped it, and they actually caused the disease to get back into the rat people.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of that. So this is a besieged city, so there's several... It's being besieged by the forces of chaos. So it's a lot of demons, a lot of cult activity, a lot of knives in the dark sort of thing, where they're trying to fight off brigands just as much as they're fighting off beast men. Sort of thing.
Right. Oh, okay. That sounds pretty cool. I just looked on Amazon about it, and it's getting really high reviews, this one. People really enjoy this.
It's really quite funny. Gotrek has become such a strong fighter that they rarely actually describe him fighting anymore. It's just Gotrek walked into the crowd and then nature took its course, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's such a foregone conclusion that Gotrek's going to win a fight, which still... undoubtedly, unimaginably pisses him off, because his whole shtick is he wants to die because that's what his culture tells him.
Yeah, but he can't help fighting back. Right?
Yeah. Well, no, he's got the whole thing of being a slayer is you have to die fighting the biggest thing, so you can tell their god what you died fighting.
I don't know. This is reminding me of One Punch Man. Who's just fed up that no one...
Yeah, that's probably the closest equivalent, actually.
Yeah.
He's constantly finding bigger and badder things to fight. So far, we've already done trolls, demons, and dragons, and now we're on to an army. So...
Wow. Wow.
So
that's quite impressive. It sounds like it would make a great movie, to be honest.
Oh, But the thing is, they're still kind of scoundrels, and they're not really pleasant to be around, either of them.
You know what? If it was a TV show, I'd probably watch it.
It probably worked better as a TV show, because a lot of times it feels quite episodic. The first book is quite short, and the second book has a lot of... It's basically them working their way through several different plans in a row.
So is it short stories then? Is it a set of short
The
stories?
first book is. The second book is not short stories. It's one story, but the actual pacing of it.
So
is
how
like,
would you describe
this guy's plan, then this guy's plan, then this guy's plan, and Gotrek and Felix stop them.
So is it just well written action, or is it funny? Is it funny
Oh no,
because of the
it's very
characters?
funny.
Because of the characters, or because of the situation?
Character dynamic. The writing is also very funny.
Yeah,
there's a bit where Gotrek almost starts a fight against an elf for trying to stop him going to the toilet, just to be spiteful, because that's what elves are like.
Yeah,
he is on the verge of like, I'll kill everyone on this ship. Don't think I won't. And the elf lets him past, and like everyone paused for a moment, and then there was a sound like an explosion in a brewery, and everyone had turned and left to go to their work. So they all got so awkward because Gotrek was taking a shit.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that sounds fun. That does sound fun. All right then. Yeah. I think that's it then, right? We've both done our list, right? So next time we'll be doing a comfy chair. It'll be 2024. So. We are doing shows before Christmas, but let's just say a Merry Christmas at this point and Happy Holidays, because it feels appropriate. For a comfy chair, it feels kind of appropriate. Because I never know when the other episodes will be going out.
Yeah, that's true.
To be honest. So we'll see. All right then. So bye from me.
Bye.
Bye.